What I like is to have a parental guidance sticker on my records. I think that's a surefire way of selling records. And that's the only marketing strategy I've ever really felt worked.
Yeah?
Yes. I realised it was a compliment for him to ask me, but it was just too much, too dramatic. I think they both say that they didn't use Nico enough. They could have used her much more.
You're actually to release a new album called Kissin Time.
Yeah.
The new single will be out here in Holland 10 days from now. It's called Sex with Strangers.
That's right.
You have to explain that one.
Well, it's just what it says. I don't think I have to explain Sex with Strangers, really. It is exactly what it sounds like.
Mm.
Yeah.
How difficult was it to write a song about sex with strangers?
Really easy. I've just been working on a film with Patrice Chéreau. I don't know what it was called in Dutch, but in French it's called Intimité. And in English it's called Intimacy. Mm-hmm. And the whole film is really about sex with strangers, or with a stranger in this case, which is probably what is the most interesting, rather than millions of nameless strangers. Very boring. One stranger quite interesting. It's nothing to do with my personal experience. I've always had sex with friends. I prefer that. I'm much too frightened a person, really, or a fearful kind of person on that level. I would never want to have sex with strangers. But I know from my gay friends and from a lot of people who are friends of mine who have sex with strangers, and I can use my imagination. I know that sex with strangers, the thing about it, of course, is that the mystique and that it's sexy. That's probably true. I wouldn't know myself, but that's... And the film gave me a real doorway into the concept of sex with strangers.
If you compare the marketing tactics nowadays with, let's say, the 60s or the 70s, have things changed a lot in those years?
You're really asking the wrong person. Marketing is not my area of expertise. All I like, personally, is to have, I don't know if you even have it here, you probably don't. It's a little bit more sensible in Holland than in England. But what I like is to have a parental guidance sticker on my records. I think that's a surefire way of selling records. And that's the only marketing strategy I've ever really felt worked.
Yeah?
Yes.
Well, if someone of your company comes to you and says, well,
we
want to promote you at MTV, so you have to do this, that, etc.
Yeah.
Are you willing to follow the...
No.
No?
No. I'm really, really uncooperative.
So what do you want to do in general?
I want to perform, I want to write, I want to make records, and of course I want people to buy my records. But as far as MTV goes, it would be lovely if they played Sex with Strangers, and I hope they do. I'm not holding my breath. I've never really been mad about MTV, I must admit, and I guess that seems to go both ways. But, you know, it's a very commercial... The music business has always been like that, you know, this isn't really new. It's been about a few people making a lot of money, and they have their own agenda, and they want somebody who doesn't have an agenda, except to be famous and do what they want.
The album title, Kissin Time, what does it refer to? Is there a certain overall meaning when it comes to the 11 songs?
Kissing Time is just, there's a yellow flower that grows in the mountains in Ireland and Scotland, and I think in Brittany, probably Sicily. In Italian it's called Ginevra. And in Ireland they say that when the gorse is in bloom it's kissing time. And the joke about it is that the gorse is always in bloom.
There's one song on the new album called Song for Nico.
Yeah.
And first time I saw it, just on the album, I thought, oh, she's going back in time. Nico's former singer of Velvet Underground.
Yeah, but she was also a solo artist.
Yeah.
and made some really great records of her own. I don't think of the Velvet Underground work. You know, I think that even if we had Lou Reed here, or especially John Cale, you know, you could ask them themselves. I think they'd both say that they didn't use Nico enough. They could have used her much more. But I mean, the song is a story that obviously is going back in time. Yes. I think it's very interesting to write songs about other people. And it's an homage to Nico, because I really think she's very good and very, very underestimated. Yes.
Now it's working with Beck or Billy Corgan, as you do on your new album.
The collaborations with Beck and Billy and Damon and Jarvis Cocker.
Blur, Pulp.
Yeah, were real collaborations. Sort of eyeball to eyeball, really sort of working together. I had to choose people I knew, that I liked their music, I liked their performance, and that they liked me. And, you know, collaboration, real collaboration, is very difficult. And so, you know, you can't really, you know, I was very lucky with Billy, because I didn't know Billy beforehand, but I sort of just went to his show in Dublin, and we just got on really well.
What is the album that you listen a lot to these days, Marianne?
I really like this new band, American boy, called, he doesn't go under his own name, he's called Will Oldham. And he records under the name of, I think it's Bonnie Prince Billy, or...
Yeah.
Did you know this
Yeah, the
guy?
one was released about 1.5 years ago.
Yeah, it's really, really weird.
And why is that you like that music so much?
Well, it's really, really weird. And I listen quite a lot to PJ Harvey at the moment too.
Yeah.
She's really weird too, but really great.
One of the things that you did in the past was a duet with Joe Jackson.
Yeah.
We had him in a 2-meter session last year.
Well, he hired me as a singer, really. I think he's a very good artist, and writes sometimes quite interesting songs. And I thought that song was very touching. I was, in fact, disappointed with the way it turned out. I thought it was too overdramatic and sort of melodramatic. And really, I think he should have done it himself. I realised it was a compliment for him to ask me, but it was just too much, too dramatic, and very much not what I want to do, that sort of thing anymore.
Yeah.
You know.
We have some
I'm
footage.
very aware that it's the new century, and that times change, and we are changing, and I've changed. And the Joe Jackson thing is very much, you know, just as much of the past as the bleeding A.E. Archer book.
Oké. Vraag je Pascal, hoe ken jij Marianne Faithfull?
I only know your song that you did with Metallica.
Oh, I love that.
So how does it sound?
It sounds very overdramatic and melodramatic, but it works.
Your only line was la 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 la, am I right?
I don't remember. No, I had lines.
You had lyrics?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Then I should listen better carefully.
No, you don't have to. I don't mind. You do what you
No, but
want.
that's the only one I know, so.
Yeah, well,
Now, Marianne,
fine.
you just said that he should have done it by himself. This song,
I think
Love
the
Got
song
Lost.
really was about him. I was expressing about him. And to use me to do it as a sort of, whatever it was, you know, sort of tragedy queen, is a cliché. Not interesting.
Vast onderdeel in dit programma wordt in ieder geval ook dat we hier en daar wat platen op tafel leggen om ze voor te leggen bij de gasten die hier aan tafel zijn. Now, Marianne, we have a DVD over here and a video clip that comes from Anastacia. Let's talk about Anastacia first.
What's Anastacia?
Anastacia is one of the most commercial, biggest, one of the most mentioned artists, singers, female singers from America at the moment.
Oh, really?
That's why you don't know her.
I don't know anything. I don't know anybody or anything.
Anastacia, een van de meest gedraaide clips op videostations in de wereld. You didn't like it at all.
I really didn't know. I thought it was incredibly derivative, like a cheap copy of early Madonna. and just the whole sort of fakeness of it comes through. And that's exactly what I wouldn't do, no.
Well, another new thing in the business is the DVD. It's music, it's footage, it's video clip, it's a combination of everything. About 2 months ago, U2 released its DVD Elevation 201 live in Boston. It features a lot of live stuff in Boston, but there is some very special inside look through behind the scenes picture.
Oh, how awfully exciting. Yes.
But
I like Bono. I live in Ireland. I bump into him off and on. And I do think, we were talking about it earlier, I think of all those kind of people, there are a few of them that are really quite sincere. Although knowing, and Bono, like any one of those kind of guys, is well aware of the falseness of the situation. But I think he does believe a lot of what he really says himself.
he does.
Yeah.
But, well, do we? Isn't he pushing it too far now?
Well,
I thought it was quite innocent, but with famous bands like U2, I always doubt how spontaneous it really is. It wouldn't surprise me if the girl's an actress.
but I'm
who
sure it
gives a
was
shit?
Winona Ryder. I'm sure.
I don't think so.
Oh well, maybe not. It'd be funny if it was.
Yeah.
But how far do you go, or how far can you go with your own audience?
The artist usually, I really believe, thinks that it's real. And who are we, or who am I? I can't speak for you, either of you. But I can't say it's not, you know. I don't know. All I do know is that if that many people feel that strongly about something, there must be something to it. That's a possibility.
But is that the best moment of a gig, that you
I
have
haven't
the
seen
audience
the
in the
whole
palm of
thing.
your hand?
I have the audience in the palm of my hand from the minute I walk out.
Yeah.
To
But
the
is
minute
that
I
the
leave.
best moment?
What, the
It shouldn't be
performance?
a moment, it should be the whole gig.
It's the whole gig. And you two have they've come a long way, you know. I remember their first gigs. They were terrible. They couldn't even keep in tune. But they've come on, as we say. You know. They've learnt their craft.